Look out! He knows how to use weapons now. No, this is not based off the video game. Instead, it is the 2018 Bigfoot slasher film from director, special effects artist Patrick McGee. But before we get into it, make sure to check out my book Wild Man, which I'll leave a link to the paperback and Kindle version in the description below. It's on Amazon, and if you could check it out, leave your feedback and opinions on Goodreads or Amazon, and I'd greatly appreciate it. The plot. A wife picks up her husband from prison. On their way back, they hit someone, and the husband is knocked into the river, with a rock naturally. His wife dives into the river to go after and save him, because, you know, she's loyal like that. But now they're both stuck deep in the woods, and something is stalking them. From there, we get Native American lore and hunter-killing gore. It has a bit of a messy story, but I would be lying if I said that this did not entertain. With a storyline or two feeling utterly pointless, such as the Native American subtext and the Whispering Woman, it feels a bit padded. These storylines could have been removed or changed a bit, and it would have flowed a lot better. I am a bit confused as to why the Whispering Woman would want the Bigfoot creature to be hunted. The Bigfoot is known as the Oma in this movie, and she's its guardian. Why would she encourage people to go out and hunt it? I guess if it moves the plot along, it kind of works. None of these characters are developed, but I liked their chemistry. We have the already mentioned husband and wife duo, who actually ended up getting together in real life. How sweet. They have their banters, but make for a good couple given the harmless nature of said banters. It makes them more believable. They are there for each other, and sometimes that's all you need. The hunters are fun to watch. They are dumb, a bit debaggy, but then when the terror hits, they run for their lives or fire at unhittable targets. It's hilarious. And actually kind of intense. Because you're like, oh, these hunters are so bad, but then they show their real colors. The Native American law enforcement duo rips into each other about their beliefs. The deputy believes in the Oma, Bigfoot, creature, while the sheriff is a bit skeptical. There are also talks of the Whispering Woman, and when you see her, she's a pretty creepy old hag. I liked her makeup, and it made me really want a solo movie with her hunting people. It would be cool. She knows how to use weapons, and yeah, make that the Blair Witch reveal. The acting is pretty good all around. The two standouts are the lead hunter, BD, played by Marshall Hilton, and the wife of the convict, Ashley, played by Casey Gagliardi. BD is a gruff, talking, cocky, mischievous hunter, who, along with his boys, is out on a possible illegal hunting trip. Ashley is the caring wife who'd do anything for her husband. She also has to fight alone some of the time, and it could be quite tense. And it's also kind of hinted at that she's raped by Bigfoot. It's not really explicitly shown or given away or said about or talked about, but it's possible. The way it's shot kind of makes it confusing. First-time actor Andrew Joseph Montgomery did a pretty good job as the lead man, Max. He unfortunately suffered an accident where he lost part of his leg, not while filming. That didn't stop him from doing his scenes during the filming of Primal Rage, though. Yes, that includes the fight scene between himself and the Oma. Speaking of the fight scene, it is well shot. Max is obviously the underdog, but does land some pretty solid blows. The film as a whole is well shot. From the drone footage to the chilling wilderness, everything looks great. This had a $12 to $18 million budget, supposedly, so they had a big project with a crew of only 5 to 8 people. That doesn't include the cast. There was actually a time where there was more cast members than there were crew members. This is not a huge story, but it tries to be with a history and a lore of the Oma that they made up for this movie. These were tribal leaders who died and came back as hideous Bigfoot-like creatures. At least that explains why they know how to use bow and arrows. Speaking of the weapons and violence, wow. The gore, the effects. There's a nice amount of bloodshed in this movie, a dang nice amount. We get bloody bullet and arrow hits, hackings, an eye gouging, a gutting, a decapitation, and the highlight, a jaw rip that stands above a lot of the other jaw rips in horror history. The best part is, it's symbolic. This character was always a loudmouth, so for that to happen to him, dang fine poetry. All the effects are practical and look stellar. It helps that Patrick McGee is a dang good makeup effects artist. The Bigfoot creature in question is awesome. It is a suit that has multiple interesting characteristics, like flapping gums and huge jaws, and it just looks menacing. The motion picture soundtrack is a bit generic, but could have been a lot worse. I think it serves its job and makes the intense scenes a bit more unsettling. It lends its instruments to the massive creature who sizes up its victims. This is a top-notch Bigfoot movie. It has amazing effects work, including practical gore and makeup, and monster suits, some great performances, a decent musical score. However, it did need a bit more character development, as well as a stronger story that flowed better. After the main attack, you feel a bit drained, and then the story just stretches itself out thin. And keep in mind, it's almost 2 hours. It's like 1 hour and 3/4. It's definitely worth a watch. Not the best Bigfoot movie, but certainly not the worst. Overall, I give Primal Rage a 3 out of 5. Thank you all for watching, and I am Brian Gatto, the horror show host. Make sure to check out my book, Wild Man, on Amazon. I'll leave the links in the description below, as I said. Make sure to like, comment on, as well as share this video. Like my Facebook fan page, and support me on Patreon. Even $1 a month will help keep this channel going on strong, and I greatly appreciate it. Also, hit that notification bell, and as always, subscribe.